It's on now. Some Democrats telling the Faulkner Focus it is a civil war inside the Democrat Party. A centrist group, the Third Way, is ready to take on the Democrat Socialists of America, or DSA. The Third Way is about to spend some big money to tamp down the influence of the radical left. The move comes after Abdul El-Sayed's U.S. Senate primary win in battleground state Michigan. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. Here's a headline that frames it this way. Moderate Democrats prepare for a war against an ascendant left. Another highlights the centrists' anxiety and anger. Quote, 2026 is turning into a bloodbath for safe seat House Democrats, end quote. Another battleground state, Wisconsin, will be a big test for the socialist movement again. DSA-endorsed State Representative Francesca Hong is looking to become the next governor there. Here she is laying out her radical platform.
Rapid fire. Do you support repealing Act 10?
Yes.
Universal child care?
Yes.
Free school meals?
Yes.
Guaranteed paid leave?
Yes.
Abolishing ICE?
Yes.
We have to dismantle police unions, defund the police.
In the service industry, we are finally having this conversation about, how our industry really did come from it and kind of is rooted in white supremacy.
Kimberly Strassel is asking in her brand new column, can Democrats resist socialism? Here's part of it. Most of the Democrat world knows the socialist swerve is the dumbest political move ever, including some candidates themselves. So why is the party letting this happen? To date, the only defensive tool it has been its bank account to support opponents of social candidates. That isn't working. For an obvious reason, voters are in an anti-establishment, anti-incumbent mood, end of quote. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson joined me in Focus.
I think this is alarming, that the mask is off. I think many Democrats have run, lying to the American public. Their closet socialists and communists themselves hold these similar types of views. But they've always been constrained, realizing the American public would reject this. And they wouldn't be electable. Now they're up front. They're in your face with these types of views.
Coming up, our bipartisan power panel. First, I want to go straight to Mark Meredith in Washington, D.C. reporting. Mark.
Harris, good morning to you. Democrats in Wisconsin get to pick their gubernatorial nominee, but it is the pundits, the fundraisers, and the politicians coast to coast who are raising concerns about Francesca Hong, as well as Democratic socialists overall.
I'm a very proud, common-sense Democrat, and I don't think DSA members are Democrats. They're socialists, right? And I'm all for them having their own party if they want one, but if they're trying to take over our party, that's unacceptable to me.
As a Democrat, I reject what the DSA is doing. I've read their platform. It is radical.
The DSA is a radical extremist movement trying to take over the Democratic Party. They want to seize the means of production.
The National Democratic Party is still in rebuilding mode after their 2024 losses. The party has been struggling both with fundraising and internal leadership struggles. While leaders there insist they are a big tent party, some Democrats want a course correction. The leading centrist group New Way is launching the $15 million effort between now and 2028 to discredit democratic socialism. And progressives who are now nominees, like Michigan's Abdul El-Sayed, though, are making some friends. Moments ago, former Vice President Kamala Harris endorsed him. This weekend, California's Gavin Newsom and former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg are going to be making stops in Michigan to show support for the Democratic ticket. But there are other Democrats, Harris, as we played in the clip, but also national Democrats getting attention. They're raising alarm bells, including Pennsylvania's John Fetterman and Colorado's Governor Jared Polis, who are worried about the socialist movement that's spreading in certain parts of the country. Harris.
All right. Thank you very much for setting us up with great reporting, as you always do, Mark Meredith.
Thanks,
Power panel now. Jeremy Hunt is a former U.S. Army captain and Hudson Institute fellow, and Jose Aristimuno is former DNC deputy press secretary. Jose, I'm going to start with you because the list now is long of those who have really been backing some of the socialist darlings. And as the list grows, you've got at the head of it Senator Bernie Sanders. I thought maybe you guys thought on the left you had tamped this down when he didn't make it to the nomination for the White House. What happened?
You're exactly right, Harris. I thought we had it under control. Clearly, we don't. Look, the DNC and the party leadership needs to step up. Ken Martin, the chair, needs to step up and stand up to the DSA. Look, I understand the American people are frustrated and they're looking for change. They're frustrated with MAGA Republicans and they're frustrated with DSA. That does not represent the part, the majority of the political and Americans, right? But I got to tell you, if Ken Party does not get a hold of the Democratic Party and defend us against DSA, he's got to go.
And who do you replace him with? Because whoever comes is probably going to lean farther left because you got to control these people. It's too late, as you just said, maybe. So what do you do, Jeremy? And I'm interested from a Republican perspective because they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting for you going into the midterms.
Oh, absolutely. And let me say, I mean, to that point, that it does seem to be that a lot of these kind of Johnny-come-lately Democrats are suddenly raising alarm about the socialist takeover of their party. But look, this did not happen overnight. If you go back to 2020, that was really phase one, which is all about tearing down America, tearing down any symbols that celebrate American history or American culture, burning businesses to the ground. Well, fast forward 6 years, we're now in 2026. This is phase two, where the socialists want to rebuild America, not as the United States of America, but as the Islamic socialist states of America. I mean, they have a totally radically different vision for our nation that they are rebuilding, and it's a little bit delayed to now try to fight back against it from within the party because there's been so much ground that the socialists have taken already.
Former top Obama advisor David Axelrod posted, quote, "It would be good for El Sayed if Francesca Hong loses. He is a serious person. She is a font of zany liberal faculty lounge exotica. But Republicans hoping to deflect attention from an unpopular president would surely try and link Abdul and Hong as philosophical kin. In fact, they are exactly philosophical kin. Here are the policies they share." So while David Axelrod wants to split these two up, this is what they agree on. And this is just the short list, really. Everything from abolishing ICE to massive tax hikes, Medicare for all. And this morning, Hong reacted to Axelrod this way. "This tweet is a perfect example of why the consultant class keeps losing elections. They're totally clueless, and they're hell-bent on keeping working-class people out of politics. I've spent more time in kitchens than faculty lounges. Perhaps you'd like to come to Wisconsin and work a Friday night dinner rush with me. P.S. At me next time." I guess she wants to be included in the conversation. Maybe that'll help raise her profile and hopefully make it positive for her. Reverse order. Jeremy, your reaction.
Yeah, look, I mean, when you look at some of these candidates, they are so intent on, one, bringing about their disastrous agenda for our nation, right? I mean, you see the list of all their kind of talking points: abolish the Electoral College. Some of them want to abolish the Senate. I mean, some of these insane ideas, insane policy positions. But there's also this kind of second part to it as well, where they love being these kind of political entertainers that go on and say all these ridiculous things to get people excited and to boost their own name and their own profile. So when you mix those two, you get some of these kind of disastrous candidates that are coming and are really going to make things a little bit easier for those of us on the right come general election time.
Look, I just want to remind everybody of something that Francesca Hong, that we shared on the program yesterday. This is what she says, Wisconsin Democrat Hong, quote, "In the restaurant industry, when you're out of something, we say it's 86. And I say it's about effing time," her word, "that we 86 Trump." I mean, that's what you have running across the aisle. And when you look at that, let's also hear a warning now from House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Right now, it's a contrast election for everybody. They've got to make a decision. Do they want to continue with common sense, growth, and opportunity, or do we want to go to this dark, dangerous, deadly road of communism? That is the contrast between common sense and crazy.
And a quick beat on that, while communism and socialism are not exactly the same thing, there is a lot of overlap and shared goals in both systems. And here are a few: economic equality, reduce large gaps between rich and poor, basically turn them against each other. Social ownership, favor collective, public or worker control of economic resources over private ownership. Anti-capitalism, argue that capitalism can produce exploitation, concentrated wealth, and unequal power, guarantee basic needs, healthcare, education, housing, and employment for everybody. In other words, take away your autonomy to choose your doctor. Look, my guest, Jose, knows exactly what this is about. Share your past and your present.
That's exactly right. DSA is trying to turn the United States of America into Cuba, into Venezuela. Look, I'll say this, and I agree with Mike Johnson in part that DSA folks are crazy, but I think MAGA Republicans are just as crazy as well. How do you spend $1 billion a day in a war that it's not going anywhere? We have so many problems here at home. I think here is the majority of American people want solutions. They want a pragmatic politician, whether it's a Republican or a Democrat. That's why there's a lot of folks that are saying, hey, maybe we need a third political party.
Wait a minute. Are you willing to have that third political party be the one that so many people in Venezuela and Cuba, your examples, and I know your family from Venezuela, from what you shared on this program, you want to turn us into that to get away from what you just described? People not liking either party?
No, let me be very clear. I think socialism is not the answer. We need to improve our capitalistic country. I think we can do that. And I think a majority of Democrats and Republicans want the same thing, but the president doesn't have the answer. He's got 30% approval rating, and DSA doesn't have the answer. So we need Democrats, JFK politicians to step up to the plate and say, enough. We can have, by the way, we can be pro-economic, have strong borders.
You realize those Democrats you're describing are about to become outnumbered. Quick last word, Jeremy.
Yeah, look, the people who are going to save us from this crisis are not going to be the Democrats who stood idly by and honestly flirted with a lot of these socialist ideas before they realized they were being run out of their own party. I mean, look, this was not something that came out of nowhere. They knew this was coming, and they were okay flirting with it until they realized they were coming for their own seats.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for being with me. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.